Yeah. Yeah. I am chasing every high with my loyal tribe, catching all the energy that the stars will scribe, selling off the vision that I can barely describe. This is not a culture that you can bribe. Even though my secret's in the heavy vault gold, walking through the winter and I never feel cold, making every move because I was born very bold. This is not a story that was ever told. Watch the way I finally begin to truly rise, looking at the future with these very sharp eyes. I am cutting every limit down to my size. Every single moment is a really shiny grand prize, catching all the rhythm in the very steady flow, lighting up the city with a very bright glow. Everything I wanted is everything that I now know, pressing on the pedal and I let it go, playing every level of this very complex mental game, burning all the bridges with a very hot flame. Everybody everywhere will finally know my very own name. I am not the person seeking any temporary fame, taking all the pressure and I hold it high, painting all my pictures on a very clear sky, teaching all the people how to truly learn fly. I am definitely not just another regular local guy, walking with the rhythm on this very busy street, drumming up the heavy and a very loud beat, cooking up the magic with a very high heat. Victory is someone that I really wanna meet, moving through the shadows in a very wide space, looking at the danger in his very cold face, running through the struggle at a very fast pace. I am winning every second of this human race, turning on the switches of a very heavy light, running through the middle of a very long night. Everything I see is looking very sharp and bright, catching all the wonder in a very clear sight, building up the energy and a very raw power, grabbing every second of this very final peak hour, looking at the world from a very high tower, growing from the concrete like a very wild flower, pushing on the motor with a very heavy drive, feeling like I finally am really and truly alive. I am in the garden where the many thrive, throwing up the digits like a very loud five, finding all the answers in my very own way, making all the progress in a very busy day. Every single game is a very serious fun play. This is where the legends will always truly stay, diving in the ocean and it feels very deep. I am working harder while the other people sleep. Every single promise is a very solid big keep, taking on the mountain with a very giant leap, keeping all the energy and it feels very real, showing all the world how I really truly feel, closing every door on a very heavy big deal. Heart is getting stronger like a very solid steel, staying very focused in my very private inner zone. I am never picking up a very noisy loud phone, sitting very steady on a very heavy gold throne. Everything I carry is what I truly clearly own, building up the value of a very fresh brand, claiming every acre of this very dusty dry land. This is where I finally will truly firmly stand, holding all the power in my very own hand, lighting up the matches with a very blue fire, taking all the limits and I go much higher, running through the circuit on a very thin wire, chasing every dream in a very deep true desire. Happy with the rhythm and I really will rock, looking at the ticking of a very loud clock, running every circle on my very own home block, keeping all the secrets under a very tight lock, moving with a spirit and a very heavy grit, finding all the pieces that will truly finally fit. Every single record is a very heavy big hit, winning every battle with a very sharp quick wit, deep inside the essence of a very heavy soul. Watch the way the dice will truly finally roll. I am getting closer to my very main goal, taking every moment in my very full firm control. Of a very high peak, letting all the actions truly and finally loudly speak. I am never feeling even a little bit weak. Everything I do is very fresh and truly unique, living in the center of a very lucid dream, winning every title with my very loyal tight team, floating on the water of a very steady stream, shining on the world like a very heavy beam, open to the power of a very big change, moving through the world even if it feels strange, taking all the targets of my very wide range. Everything in life is what I truly will arrange. Yeah, 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 yeah. I just sharpen up the edges of my blade, standing cool and steady underneath the neon blue shade, climbing up the ladder to a higher salary grade, count the massive profit that my hustle finally made, listen to the ticking of the diamond-studded clock, moving through the city like I really own block, harder than the granite of a heavy mountain rock, giving every hater such a very painful mental shock. I am never looking for the temporary cheap fame, staying focused purely on the winning of this game, setting every single doubt inside a wild orange flame. Soon the whole wide world will recognize my name. Step into the center of the heavy danger zone, sitting on the velvet of a silver mountain up a legacy with every single heavy stone. Talking to the future on a golden cellular phone. Swimming in the water where the ocean is deep. Climbing up the mountain where the hills are steep. Working while the lazy people all are fast asleep. All these big promises are what I will keep. Moving through the traffic of the city really fast. Turning up the speakers for a heavy sonic blast. Leaving all the shadows of the very lonely past. Constructing a vision that is really meant to last. Look at how my energy begins to brightly glow. Moving with the rhythm of the heavy water flow. Giving all the people such a very flashy show. Watching how my garden will begin to finally grow. Walking in the lobby like a very wealthy king. Listen to the heavy metal bells begin to ring. Mastering the art of every single little small thing. Flying through the atmosphere on a very wide wing. Walking down the middle of a very busy street. Feeling all the pressure of the heavy summer heat. Dancing to the rhythm of a very heavy beat. Victory is tasting like a very crispy, fruity sweet. Taking all the chances on a very wild ride. Staying on the better and the winning lucky side. Carrying the spirit with a massive sense of pride. Watch me as I finally begin to smoothly glide. Keeping all the intentions of the spirit very pure. Searching for the answers that I know are sure. Refusing every trap and every single golden shiny lure. Finding for the sickness such a very potent cure. I've got a story that I must tell. Ringing out the music like a heavy metal bell. Watching how the numbers in the bank account swell. Doing every single little thing so very, very well. Keeping up the energy and the very strong drive. Working every second just to really, truly, fully thrive. Feeling so electric and so very much truly alive. More than just a human trying hard to survive. Setting up a very fast and heavy running pace. Winning every second of the very long dusty race. Staring at the galaxy in the middle of space. See the very focus on my very calm face. Doing what I want with a very strong will. Chasing after every single crazy kind of major thrill. Looking at the valley from a very high hill. Stacking up the paper for another very large bill. Keeping all the jewelry in the engine very clean. Living out a life that is a crazy scene. Acting very tough and also acting very extremely mean. Standing on the stage and looking very, very lean. Navigating through the middle of the very thick dark. Lighting up the fire with a single tiny spark. Running through the grass of a very green park. Leaving on a world a very heavy permanent mark. Thinking of the logic that I can really use. Lighting up the powder on the very show fuse. Paying every single one of my heavy long dues. Spreading out the message like some very big news. Moving like a master of a very fine art. Climbing up the ladder of the very top chart. Ready for the signal of the very big star. Working every day and working very, very, very smart. Moving up the level to a very high rank. Putting all the extra money inside the local bank. Driving heavy metal like a very large battle tank. Watching other heavy metal and can finally just sing. Dropping up the levels of a very long stair. Doing every movement with a very heavy cool flair. Going for the gold if you really truly dare. Finding all the gems that are so very rare. Testing out the spirit with a very hard test. I am really better than the very basic rest. Traveling the world from the east to the west. Putting on my armor on my very strong chest. Building up the power of a very big brand. Taking up a heavy and a very firm stand. Holding all the power inside my own left hand. Owning every acre of